Back in Chicago, look at the NFC playoff picture. Both teams very much alive. Bears in the hunt. Redskins lead the NFC East as we check in downstairs with Laura Oakman. Laura.
Hi, Kenny. With so much emotion wrapped up in that loss to the Cowboys, Redskins' Trent Williams said it took 48 hours to get over it. Now, to make sure the team moved on, players gathered together after their first practice of the week with a strong message. Don't let Dallas beat us twice. Said D'Angelo Hall, everything we want is still right there in front of us. It's about peaking at the right time, and it's time. Kenny?
Thanks, Laura. Jay Gruden's Redskins back at it. 6 days later, they will get the ball first as the Bears won the toss. Ron Fox in his first season as Chicago head coach. Bears elect to defer the former Chicago Bear, Rashad Ross, back deep for the Redskins as Robbie Gould gets things started. So Kirk Cousins and the Washington offense will start from their 20-yard line, looking for their first road victory of the season. Cousins leading the entire league in completion percentage.
And he's been on quite a roll the last 4 or 5 weeks, and there's this strange dynamic for the Washington Redskins. They're playing well at home. They're not playing well on the road. Now, some of that has to do with who they've played on the road. We'll see how they do here today. I think this is a very evenly matched opponent for the Washington Redskins.
5-2 at home, 0-5 on the road, and Darryl, the fullback, Darrell Young, who was not out for a snap on offense on Monday night, starts the game.
That's the way you start, Kenny.
And with Young leading the way, it is Alfred Morris who picks up a couple on first down as we check out the Redskins offense.
And one of the areas that we have to keep an eye on is the guard, center guard area for the Washington Redskins. Those 3 players right there. The Dallas Cowboys twisted to the inside. They had linebacker blitzes between the guard center gap. If they don't protect, if they can't handle that, it doesn't matter about your skill players on the back end. You're not going to be able to hold it and throw it. You're not going to have running lanes.
3 receivers set, second down and 8. Morris in the backfield. Cousins to Pierre Garçon. And Garçon is shoved out of bounds just shy of the marker by Tracy Porter, setting up 3rd down and 1 against this Bears defense.
Good front there, but a lot of their pressure is going to come from the outsides with their outside linebackers. Pernell McPhee not in the lineup today. Willie Young gets the start today. He played well last week against Joe Staley. He's got Trent Williams today. Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles in the NFL.
Well, they did award Garçon the first down. And the give is to Morris. Morris able to gain 3 out to the 33-yard line. Willie Young makes the tackle.
And this running back rotation by the Washington Redskins. Alfred Morris usually gets the start, but then they'll play back and forth. Whoever is the hot running back at that time, we'll see how this plays out during the course of the game. Does Jay Gruden feel that the matchups in the running game fit Alfred Morris' style more than they fit Matt Jones' style?
Morris only 6 carries on Monday night against Dallas. Cousins looking to throw on second down and 7. It's the tight end, Jordan Reed. And he picks up a first down. That's his 59th reception. He's the leading receiver for the Redskins, and he gains 11.
He's a tough matchup. He's one of those athletic tight ends. Coming from the opposite side, just running a shallow crossing route, gets in front of the linebackers, plays, feels the zone coverage, gets into the soft spot ahead of Shea McClellan. Grabbing a couple of extra yards there at the end of that catch.
Another first down for the Redskins from their 44. The handoff to Morris, up the middle, gain of 4. Down to the 48. Bruce Gaston brought him down along with Will Sutton.
It's just been a very strange season for Alfred Morris. You go back to his first couple of years in the NFL, and he's a 1,000-yard rusher every year. You can see the production down a little bit. A lot of that has to do with the inconsistency and changes in that offensive line.
Right, 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Now Cousins cannot find anyone downfield, and he is wrapped up. And down he goes, Mitch Unrein, breaking through for the Chicago sack.
Nowhere to go with the ball for Kirk Cousins on this play. Great coverage in the secondary by the Chicago Bears. Watch all your receivers as they get out. There's Deshaun Jackson with Tracy Porter, step for step. They're going to respect his seed. his speed. Now here's Pierre Garçon on this side. You're bracketed, double covered on the outside. They had everything locked up underneath.
First career sack for the 5-year vet, Mitch Unrein. 3rd down and 12. Redskins must get to the Chicago 46. And they do. It's Rashawn Ross. And the ex-Bear takes it all the way down to the 41-yard line. 17-yard pass play.
3rd and long situation. Kyle Fuller giving a little bit too much cushion here. You can see where that yellow line is, and then watch, he's going to stumble coming out of his break when he goes to change direction. Easy throw and catch for the Redskins.
So Cousins has completed his first 3 pass attempts. Redskins pick up their 3rd first down on this opening drive.
Huge confidence boost also to convert a long 3rd down situation early in the game.
Off the play fake, rolling right, Cousins. And he takes off. Down to the Bears 33.
This is a staple play in the Washington offense. You get Kirk Cousins out on the perimeter and you stack your routes. You've got everything tiered. You've got shallow, medium, and deep. It's easy for him to read and see, and then if he doesn't like anything, he can pull it down and use that athleticism to push it down the field.
He gained 9. The 68, Tom Compton, sent in as an extra blocker on the left side. Shaw Jackson motioning into the backfield. And it is Morris who picks up another Washington first down for the Bears 28.
Effective in the running game up until this point. And I know that some Redskin fans are going to get frustrated with the production in the run game, but I just want to go back. You look at the Giants game, 37 carries, 105 yards, 2.8. That's a commitment to the run. Last week against Dallas, 26 for 73. It's only 2.8 for each of those games, but you've committed to it. You're controlling the flow of the game.
This will be the 10th play of the drive for the Redskins. From the Bears 28. Cousins fires over the middle. It's the tight end Reed. And he will gain 7.
They've done a nice job managing down and distance on this drive. Only that one section where they got the sack that put them in the 3rd and long situation, but they are staying ahead of the chains on this opening drive.
So Cousins, we told you he leads the league in completion percentage, over 68%, 4 for 4 on this drive. 3 receivers set, 2nd down and 3. It's Morris. And he's bottled up.
Now we talked about Willie Young and that matchup with Trent Williams in the passing game, rushing the quarterback, but you also got to be able to defend the run. Watch him right here. He's going to play into Trent Williams, extend those arms, play off of him, and get inside to make the tackle.
Redskins converted a big 3rd down earlier at 3rd and 12. Now facing 3rd and 3. Bears send in 6 defensive backs. And they keep it on the ground with Morris, and he picks up a Washington first down.
Well, that shows you the confidence they have early on here in their run game. Little high on the snap from Josh Laribas, an area he's struggled with from time to time this year, making that switch to center. But this is a nice job by the offensive line. Good blocking at the point. Jordan Reed matched up against Lamar Houston, an athletic wide receiving tight end, but you can see right there can be an effective blocker as well on the edge.
So the Bears expecting pass, sending in the 6 DBs, and the Redskins pick up the first down on the ground. Again, it is Morris. He was met initially by the nose tackle, the rookie out of Florida State, Eddie Goldman.
Playing on the nose, he's in that center guard area, and Eddie's like, all right, I need a breather. Get a sub in here. But he bottled that up right away. Really nowhere for Alfred Morris to go, and that's how you shut down the run game. You make that running back change direction in the backfield.
This is the longest opening drive for Jay Gruden's Redskins this season. 2nd down and 12 on the 14th play for Washington. Cousins throws and connects with the tight end Reed, who has a first down, stays on his feet, reaches across for a Redskins touchdown.
Well, there was a concern about the Redskins and how they were going to be emotionally at the start of the game. I think they answered all the questions right there. What a great opening drive, and watch the individual effort right here by Jordan Reed. He is not going to be denied getting into the end zone. That is outstanding. That elbow is down, the forearm is down, so that's where the ball was at that point. They'll take a look at it. It's a touchdown in review.
All scoring plays are reviewed. It was ruled a touchdown on the field.
Touchdown will be reviewed. Timeout.
So it will either be a Washington touchdown or first and goal at the Chicago 1.
Sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
The runner's elbow is down with the ball just short of the goal line. It'll be Washington's ball, first and goal on the 1-foot line on the Chicago hash. The clock will start on my ready for play signal.
This is one of those ones that I thought was going to stand as called on the field. Didn't know if there was enough there to overturn that call.
We'll check in with Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see?
I kind of like you. I didn't think there would be enough to overturn it. I mean, I think it might be short, but the old notion of it's got to be indisputable. Very, very close, but to me it looked like it should have stayed a touchdown.
All right, thanks, Mike. Here is Morris on the handoff from Cousins. As the officials come running in, it's a touchdown. First of the season for Morris.
Well, I'm going to need to see this one again too, Kenny, because it looked like the Chicago Bears had kind of stuffed this one. And let's see the effort by Alfred Morris here. Let's make sure he's not down. There's that little surge right there, and you could see as they started to kind of grab him and pull him back. Lamar Houston, Shea McClellan trying to pull back.
Again, all scoring plays are reviewed. We just went through one review.
How about that? His first rushing touchdown this season.
And the last 3 seasons, his first 3 years, only Marshawn Lynch had more rushing touchdowns than Alfred Morris. The call has been confirmed, so Morris, who turned 27 years of age yesterday, gives the Redskins the lead on the 15th play of their opening possession. Dustin Hopkins adds the extra point. Redskins control the ball for 8.5 minutes. Lead by 7 here in Chicago.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Darrell, it is a record-setting day here in Chicago. It has never reached 62 degrees on December 13th. The previous high, 61 degrees back in 1991.
And it was very warm early in the day. And this is our second week. We were here last weekend. It was beautiful last weekend. A little bit of rain and overcast this weekend, but still warm. Cold weather's coming the end of the week, Kenny.
It's warmer here in Chicago than in Los Angeles today. This is Kadeem Carey on the return. Scored his first NFL touchdown last week, and he takes it out to the 28 as Jay Cutler leads the Bears offense out for the first time.
And you can see the season that Jay Cutler has had under Adam Gase, and I think that there's a connection there between these two guys, quarterback, offensive coordinator, quite unique. Jay Cutler's had an opportunity to study under a lot of really good offensive coordinators throughout his career, but there seems to be a good connection with Coach Gase.
We saw Forte shift into the backfield. First and 10, 28-yard line. On first down, the handoff to Forte. And he gains 3 down to the 31.
Matt Forte, one of my favorite running backs in the NFL, running behind this offensive line, starting to come around, starting to play a little bit better. But the big news for Bears fans, Eddie Royal is back in the lineup. They've only had 3 games with their top 3 receivers on the field together. Marquise Wilson goes on IR, so it will stay at 3 games.
Can you sing again for us? Eddie Royal starts today.
There you go.
There's Cutler. On second down, and it's complete to the tight end, Zach Miller. For a Bears first down, a gain of 10, facing the 21st ranked Washington defense.
Yeah, but they played really well Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. They were flying around, and the 2 guys that I really enjoyed watching, Will Compton and Mason Foster, the inside linebackers, were all over the field. And keep your eye on D'Angelo Hall, doing a great job with his adjustment from cornerback to safety.
Foster spent training camp with the Bears this year. From the 41-yard line on first down, Cutler is sacked by Ponros, Terrence Knighton. And that is his 2nd sack this season as a Redskin.
Well, that's bonus right there. You expect Terrence Knighton to be your run stuffer and get you a sack on this play right here.
2nd and 17, number 34.
Patrick Omame gets caught on the line of scrimmage. You got to give a little bit. I know it's a little bit of a play action fake there, but big Terrence Knighton is coming up the field.
Loss of 7. 2nd down and 17. Forte. Just to the outside. There is a flag. Stays on his feet and is forced out of bounds by Bashaud Breeland. We will check in with referee Ron Torbert.
Be a holding on Slauson.
Offense, number 68, 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
This Bears offensive line, Darryl, you talked about their recent improvement. They lead the league in holding penalties.
It's going to be coming from the opposite side, looping around for the block. And you'll see as the defender goes to undercut him, the hook and pull on Mason Foster. Now, here's that margin of error we talked about. Back-to-back plays, sack, holding penalty. This team's not ready to overcome on a consistent basis those types of breakdowns.
2nd down and 27. Jeremy Langford, rookie out of Michigan State, in the backfield. 3 wide receivers set. On 2nd and 27, they keep it on the ground with Langford. As we head to Los Angeles for a game break, and Mike Hill. Mike.
Skins fans interested in this game in Philadelphia against the Bills. Darren Sproles, 1-yard touchdown run, giving the Eagles a 7-0 lead in the first, only his 2nd touchdown of the season. DeMarco Murray, 4th string in this game today. Maybe you want to talk to the owner about that, guys.
Wow. So the Eagles also at 5 and 7, like the Redskins. They've allowed a lot of yardage over the last 3 games, but they beat the New England Patriots. Washington, Philadelphia, and the Giants, who will play tomorrow night in Miami, all 5 and 7. On the screen, it's Langford. And Langford will be tackled well shy of the marker, so the Bears will punt it away.
Tempers flaring at the end of that play, and you know, Bears fans are going to be like, what was that? It's 3rd and 24, and we're throwing a screen pass? They're going to play this a certain style. It's going to be close to the vest. They're going to play field position. They're going to try and flip the field here with their punt team. So 3rd and 24s don't get converted very often in the NFL, so don't do anything to put your defense in a real tough spot here.
Patrick O'Donnell punting from his 25. Jamison Crowder waiting. Takes it out to 12. Big return by Crowder. He is finally tackled, and there is a flag. Finally brought down at the 39-yard line by Lemon Barrow. 27 yards on the return.
We talk about the margin of error for Chicago. It's kind of similar for Washington as well.
During the return, the illegal block in the back by the return team, number 89. Half the distance from the spot of the foul. Washington's ball, 1st down, timeout.
That's on Derek Carrier. There it is. 7-0 Redskins.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. It was sponsored by Pepsi. Go behind the scenes of the Pepsi Super Bowl 50 halftime show, only on Pepsi.com.
Back in Chicago, late first quarter, 7-0 lead for the Redskins. A very effective opening drive for Washington.
And we'll see what they can do here with the second possession, but a little bit of help from that Redskin team has them backed up. We'll see what Chicago's defense does.
Pass is caught by the tight end Carrier. He's tackled by McClellan and remains down after the gain of 6.
He missed the game Monday night, and he was back today, and that opens up a lot of things for this offense with their 2 tight end packages, having Derek Carrier back.
Derek Carrier off to the Redskins sidelines. Washington sends in 2 extra blockers. Tom Compton, 68, and Ty Nseki, 79. On second down and 3, it is Matt Jones, his first carry today. And he picks up a Redskins first down.
We'll take a look at the end of that play where Derek Carrier got hurt. He's going to get his right leg trapped on the tackle. He's been battling an Achilles injury. Not sure if that's the same leg as the Achilles injury, but he was helped off the field. And again, this goes back. There's a lot of conversation in Washington about what happened Monday night, as Kenny talked about having Ty Nseki and Tom Compton in there as tackles in that package and becoming too predictable with the run. You know Jay Gruden's going to have something creative out of that in the play-action passing game here this afternoon.
Timeout taken by the Redskins there first, as Jones was stopped short. So it will be a 3rd down and 1. What's coming up tomorrow on the Herd with Colin Cowherd?
I'm Colin Cowherd, and I've been watching the Redskins team go up and down for weeks. Can Kirk Cousins and company hold it together, and can they sneak into the playoffs? That and everything else from the NFL weekend tomorrow on the Herd at noon Eastern on FS1.
Sneak into the playoffs. Nobody sneaks into the playoffs. You earn your way. You might not have a record that a lot of people are excited about, but you don't sneak into the playoffs. Come on, Colin.
And they do control their own destiny.
Yes, you earn your way into the playoffs. Carolina earned their way in last year at 7-8-1. Not a lot of people happy about that.
There's Cousins on the sneak.
Productivity in the running game at the start here today for Jay Gruden and his offense, and that's critical. That's the way that this Redskin team functions the best, staying ahead of the change, productive in the run. We'll see if he gets a little aggressive on first down, see if he opens it up a little bit more.
Pierre Thomas in for the first time, the longtime Saint, top of your screen. Split out wide to the right, signed on Friday, as that pass could not be handled by Pierre Garçon. Once again, a game break. Mike Hill. Mike.
Hey, guys, the Panthers are rolling into the playoffs this year, and they may be perfect going in, taking on Atlanta. Cam Newton, Ted Ginn Jr., 74-yard strike, Ginn's 7th-touchdown catch of the season. All Panthers, 14-0 in the first. Kenny, Moose, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Panthers still unbeaten. Clinch a first-round bye with a win or a Packers loss or tie. That last pass, the first incompletion for Cousins today. And now he connects with Jamison Crowder. Grabbed, knocked out of bounds by Kyle Filler. Gain of 13 and a Redskins first down as we check in with Laura.
I have an update on Derek Carrier. They actually just put a brace over that right leg. It's a knee sprain. His return is questionable. He's now on the cart. They're taking him back in the locker room for a test, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Laura. And the Redskins have certainly had their issues with tight ends. They lost both Logan Paulson and Niles Paul during preseason.
Big impact on the running game there with the loss of those guys at the tight end position, being able to run effectively on the edges.
They brought in Carrier from San Francisco following those injuries. As Cousins fires downfield looking for Deshaun Jackson, and there is a flag. The veteran Tracy Porter defending. Porter, the ex-Redskin.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Have to respect the speed from Deshaun Jackson. Just a straight go route right there. Tracy Porter a little bit late getting out, and as the ball is about to arrive, a lot of contact. You got the arm up. Your eyes are not back on the ball. Now Deshaun Jackson is fighting there as well, trying to get back to make that catch, but Tracy Porter was unable to get his head around, get his eyes on that ball and locate it.
Remember at the start of this drive on the return when the Redskins lost 32 yards due to a penalty? Now they gained 32 thanks to a penalty.
We're all square then?
All square.
All right, let's play football.
First and 10 from the 37-yard line. Play action. Cousins to the tight end Reed, who is wide open. And Jordan Reed has another first down, stays on his feet, and then is finally knocked out of bounds with 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter after gaining 28.
Number 86 going to be coming out of that inside spot, jumps around Tom Compton, the extra tackle in there, man-to-man situation with Adrian Amos, and that's a tough matchup. Adrian is a good young player. He's played every game as a rookie, started every game, but that's a handful guarding Jordan Reed man-to-man.
First quarter comes to an end. Redskins with the game's first touchdown, and they're on the move yet again. Check out the first quarter numbers. Bears ran only 5 plays. Redskins picked up 11 first downs.
Dominated the first quarter up and down the field. And we talked about Chicago making plays. They have to make a play here in this series to hold the Redskins to a field goal attempt.
First and goal from the 9. 3 wide receivers set. As Cousins throws, it's Reed. And Reed gains 5 down to the Bears' 4-yard line on his 5th reception today.
I've been impressed with Jordan Reed during the course of the season, but it's like there's a little bit extra here this afternoon after the catch. You know, I don't remember him being this physical, this determined with the football in his hand.
Matt Jones in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Deshaun Jackson slot to the right. And Cousins will walk it in himself for a Redskins touchdown.
Well, they've shown this on film, so you know they have the zone replay, so you have to respect quarterbacks. Somebody has to have edge support contained, which is responsibility for the quarterback. I'm thinking it's Kyle Fuller right here. I think he gets pulled down inside, and boy, he just bites on that fake inside, and that's a walk-in for Kirk Cousins.
His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Last weekend, 8 quarterbacks scored rushing touchdowns, including Blaine Gabbert right here to tie the game. A 44-yard run for the San Francisco 49ers into that same end zone. Hopkins. 14-0 lead for the Redskins, who have not won on the road this season. Cousins makes it look easy.
You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that? I like that. You gotta like that, right?
Kirk Cousins likes that.
How could you not like that? And after the devastating loss on Monday night, I think a lot of Redskin fans were worried about the start of this game. How are they going to be emotionally? They have come out and just dominated here.
Deontay Thompson on the return for Chicago. There is a flag as Thompson is wrapped up at the 30.
During the return, holding number 82 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Chicago's ball. First down. Timeout.
That's on Kari Lee. Kirk Cousins likes that. 14-0 Washington.
Game is sponsored by T-Mobile. Ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier.
A 62-degree day here in Chicago on December 13th. Redskins Out to a 14-0 lead. Following the penalty on the return, Bears forced to start from their own 7-yard line as Cutler hands off to Jeremy Langford. And Langford out to the 16 for a gain of 9.
There you saw the little rollout of the "you like that," and that all comes from the big comeback against Tampa Bay, largest comeback in franchise history, 24-0 at half, and not a lot of nice things being said about Kirk Cousins in the media during that time, and just a little message to one individual specifically there.
Right, Redskins would win the game 31-30. Here's Cutler picking up a Bears first down as we head to Los Angeles for a game break and say hello to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Hello, Kenny. The good news for Seattle is Russell Wilson hooks up with the rookie Tyler Lockett for an 8-yard score to 7-0 lead at Baltimore, but unfortunately, they lost running back Thomas Rawls to an ankle injury. He's done for the day already. Kenny Moose, you are.
All right, tough news for the Seahawks. Thanks, Kurt. After Cutler picked up the second Bears first down of the game. 1st and 10 from the 21. 3 receivers to the left. And they will keep it on the ground and bring it through to make the tackle. Wow. On Langford is Terrence Knight.
He is just controlling the line of scrimmage. He's been unblockable here early on. He's coming right at you, lined up right to the left there. Beats the block back. He's in the backfield right away against Jeremy Langford down the line.
Terrence Knight, who was an all-state wide receiver and tight end in high school, according to his teammate and longtime friend Chris Baker.
Many days ago,
yes.
Many meals ago.
Second at 11, coming to the outside. It could not be handled by Langford. Knight and Baker grew up together. They first met at the age of 4. They played basketball together. In fact, Baker did not play football until the 11th grade.
Okay, Kenny, here's one of those junctures in the game. Chicago wants to play a certain style. They're down 14-0. You may have to shift your plan right now. This is a critical snap at 3rd and 11 with Washington just dominating this game.
Bears must get to the 31 for a first down. Cutler on 3rd down, fires. And the catch was made. It will defend on forward progress. Alshon Jeffrey. And he does pick up the first down for Chicago.
Let's check the follow through on this throw. You can see Jay Cutler coming back, but Alshon Jeffrey coming out the inside. Just going to push it up past the stick, snap it around. Don't lose ground. Get the yards necessary for the first down, but let's see what happens on the throw through. Might have been Jason Hatcher as he came by contact with that throwing hand.
Right, we saw Cutler grab his wrist. High snap. Cutler able to get rid of it. And this is Eddie Royal, who picks up a first down, but Cutler again slow to get up.
This is just remarkable athleticism at the quarterback spot by Jay Cutler. This is a terrible snap on a quick screen. Look at him get up, secure that, able to throw the ball underneath the oncoming rusher. All when he knows he's going to get clobbered from the inside.
Edric Golston with the hit on Cutler. Eddie Royal returning after missing 5 games, picked up the first. And now gaining 2 out to the 49-yard line is Langford. So a couple of tough back-to-back plays for Cutler, and now it looks like he's having trouble with the communication in his helmet.
Yeah. Well, issues in the Redskins' last game against Dallas with the Surface tablets on the sideline. Again, here today, possibly some issues with communication.
Hey, Robin, wide. Robin, wide. Chocolate.
Play clock is at 3. Second down and 8. That pass intended for the tight end, Zach Miller, with Will Compton defending.
Sometimes I wonder why they go through all this at the line of scrimmage when this is what we end up with. I just think maybe we could have gotten to something a little bit better than that.
Think so? So now the Bears facing a 3rd down and 8. Started this drive back at their 7-yard line, trailing 14-0.
Pat Mouse, quarterback, linebackers.
Cutler moving to his right, now throws back across the field. It is Jeffrey again who picks up the Bears' first down.
It's an element of Jay Cutler's game that Adam Gase is actually trying to incorporate into his offense. Watch, he's going to just, as the play breaks down, get out on the move. Now you've got the defense uncertain because everything has just changed. It's one of the strengths of Jay Cutler's game, and Adam Gase is trying to find a way to incorporate plays that look like that.
First and 10, here comes pressure, down goes Cutler, ball comes loose, Trent Murphy with the sack, the forced fumble, and the recovery.
You're on the play fake, so as a right-handed quarterback, you don't have your head in that direction, and you don't feel it, and you pay the price.
Not for the Bears, but they commit the game's first turnover on the sack by Trent Murphy of Jay Cutler.
And that was a tough series for Jay Cutler. We saw the hit on the hand earlier in the drive, and then Trent Murphy with the big sack.
So terrific field position for the Redskins from the 49. Play action on first down. Cousins moving to his right. There is a flag. Now a second flag as Cousins takes it out of bounds at the 46.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Right tackle Morgan Moses.
Right tackle Morgan Moses working against Willie Young, and we talked about that matchup last week against Joe Staley. Played real well, shifting sides away from Trent Williams. But one of the areas the Redskins have really struggled at this season is taking advantage of the turnovers created by their defense. 6 turnovers over the last 2 games. They've only got 3 points away from those. Their defense gave them great field position at the start of the Monday night game and couldn't take advantage of it.
Right, they've scored only 26 points off turnovers all season. First and 20 following the penalty. Catch is made by Pierre Thomas. As we mentioned, his first game as a Redskin, replacing the injured Chris Thompson. He's a Chicago native returning home, and he gains 12.
This is a really nice job. You're in man-to-man coverage against the linebacker. It's a good route and a good catch by Pierre Thomas.
He had some big years with the Saints, won a Super Bowl.
He's a good running back.
Yeah.
He's a good pickup for the Washington Redskins at this stage of the season with the injury to Chris Thompson.
Played in 1 game for San Francisco back in November. Second down and 8. It's Alfred Morris who scored the game's first touchdown, and he takes it to the Chicago 44-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins.
The big difference right now in this game is Washington being able to overcome some of the mistakes that they're making, where the Chicago Bears have really struggled to overcome the mistakes that they've been making. The big holding penalty on Morgan Moses, and here the Redskins sit manageable down and distance at 3rd and 3.
Redskins 3 for 3 on 3rd down today. They converted a 3rd and 12 on their opening drive. Cousins looking. Willie Young with the Bears sack.
He is relentless. You don't block Willie Young for just a couple of plays. I mean, he's coming the whole time for a couple of seconds on the play. Working against, again, Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. That's a well-earned sack, and give some credit to that coverage in the Bears secondary. Kirk Cousins had to hold that a little longer than he would like.
5.5 sacks for Young, the ex-Lion. Tress Way punting from his 35. Their catch is called for by Mariani and winds up bouncing out of bounds. So the Redskins again cannot capitalize on the takeaway. The fisherman, Willie Young. Big sack for the Bears.
Sponsored by the all-new Fiat 500X crossover.
Back in Chicago, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oatman, 14-0 lead for the Redskins midway through the second quarter. Bears get the ball back. Start from their 22-yard line as Cutler hands it off to number 22, Matt Forte, and he gains 5.
Tough drive for Jay Cutler in that last series. Got roughed up quite a bit, and there's the last play. Trent Murphy unblocked coming in from his right. Jay doesn't see him, doesn't feel him, and takes a big hit on the sack.
Redskins with 2 sacks today, 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, it's Forte. Turns the corner. Up the sidelines. Just shy of a first.
Bears offense needs to try to find some type of rhythm. You see their first 2 series, just 5 plays with the punt. The last play, kind of digging it out from their backed up spot on the start of that drive, but then have the fumble.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 93, jumped in the neutral zone, caused the offensive player to move. 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
That's Trent Murphy.
Going to be at the bottom of your screen. Watch. Actually, I'm going to give that one to Ricky Jean and Francois.
Yeah, they announced
inside
93,
Trent Murphy.
but it was 99 who jumped. So a new set of downs for the Bears. Von Bushrod in as an extra blocker for Chicago. Play action. Cutler steps up and now fires downfield, and the catch is made by the tight end Zach Miller in Redskins territory at the Washington 34, a 30-yard connection.
Going to be important for Zach Miller to step up. Martellus Bennett goes on IR, a little wheel route, show the flat, then get vertical. He's got steps on Mason Foster. Good throw by Jay Cutler. Nice concentration at the point of the catch by Zach Miller.
Biggest offensive play of the game for the Bears. From the 34-yard line on first down, it's at Forte. And he gains a couple. His 8th season, tremendous career in Chicago. He's been to a couple of Pro Bowls. He turned 30 years of age this past Thursday.
That's, I don't want to call it the magic number for the running back. That's that number that everybody looks at. Is your production going to start to slide? If there's anybody out there where I think it doesn't have an impact on him, it could be Matt Forte. He's awesome to watch play. Great receiver, great runner out of the backfield. Interesting to see what happened to him at the end of the season.
Contract is up, 2nd down and 8. Cutler rolling away from pressure and then throws back across the field to Miller. There is a flag. Miller picks up a first down, flag back at the 38-yard line.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Left tackle Charles Leno.
Again, here's that ability for Jay Cutler to kind of ad-lib a little bit as the play breaks down. Kicks out a little bit too far. Ryan Kerrigan comes inside. No opportunity, nothing left to do but hold. And a good feel right there by Zach Miller to find that soft spot, but all for naught. It's coming back.
Second holding penalty of the first half against the Bears. They lead the league, now 22 on the season. Tight end Corey Lee shifts to the left side of the line. On 2nd down and 18. Cutler over the top. It's Forte. Another flag.
Could have one of those offensive pass interferences on a pick play underneath. I don't know why the guys continue to do this. It's been a point of emphasis all season long. All the offenses have incorporated this play into it. If it's the offensive pass interference on these underneath rub routes, the Redskins know it as well as anybody. Been called a ton.
Pass interference. Offense number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
They call it on Mark Mariani, but possibly even Kerry Lee, number 82. We'll take a look here. Mariani coming behind him. There you are, downfield blocking there. There's the rub with the contact. I mean, it just It's not thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It's thrown right at the line of scrimmage. And it's such a fine line. The officials are going to err on the side of calling that play. We've seen it week after week.
So it is now 2nd down and 28 following back-to-back Chicago penalties. Butler steps up and throws near side, and that bounces away from the tight end Lee. So 3rd and long coming up, but first to Los Angeles, a game break. Here's Kirk.
Well, both teams needing a win to stay in their respective playoff hunts. Philadelphia and Buffalo. Sam Bradford hooking up with the rookie Nelson Aguilar. 53-yard touchdown. Put the Eagles up by a touchdown midway through the 2nd quarter. Kenny Moose live.
All right, thanks, Kurt. So both NFC East teams currently in action are leading their respective games. Redskins here in Chicago and the Eagles at home against Buffalo. Cowboys in Green Bay later today, America's game of the week. Giants at Miami tomorrow night. Butler on 3rd and 28 for the tight end Miller. And Miller will get to the 41-yard line, so not enough for a field goal attempt, and the Bears will punt it away with 3.5 remaining.
Oh, they've put themselves in some really terrible 3rd down situations, and you just have to play complementary football. You know, trying to get some good positive yards. Maybe you can break a tackle, give your field goal kicker an opportunity to maybe trot out on the field. If not, let's punt it, let's pin him back, let's send our defense back out on the field.
O'Donnell waiting at his 44-yard line. Crowder deep for Washington. Crowder lets it go, and Bellamy could not save it. It's a touchback. Redskins will start.
An opportunity to make a play, Kenny. What we talked about at the top. Just get down there. You do everything right, but you can't locate it. You can't find it.
Who wants to win the NFC East? All 4 teams under 500. All 4 have won the division over the last 4 seasons.
I think the point made by Jay Gruden, the opportunity in front of a national audience to show that the Washington Redskins were ready to take that step and take that division. Very disappointing. I've been very impressed how they've come out and started this game.
They lead 14-0, 1st and 10, 20-yard line. It's Matt Jones falling forward out to the 25 for a gain of 5. Redskins with touchdown drives on each of their first 2. Then they took over following a Chicago turnover. Not much.
Don't give us a short field with a turnover. We don't do well in that situation.
Redskins have lost 9 straight on the road, dating back to last October, the overtime win in Dallas with Colt McCoy leading the way.
One of the things they've done today.
Ball start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Trent Williams.
Stay ahead of the chains on down and distance, and a good positive run on 1st down there, but that penalty kind of brings you back. Now you're into that area that Jay Gruden kind of gets frustrated sometimes with the running game. You know, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10s.
Think back to that big 3rd and 12 conversion on their opening drive. 2nd down and 10. On the delay, it's Jones, but it did not fool the Bears. And it's Willie Young again who makes the play.
I'll tell you what, he's playing a heck of a game this afternoon. Willie Young, pass and run.
So that takes us to the 2-minute warning here at Soldier Field in Chicago. Redskins by 14. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. Redskins dominated in the first quarter. Bears not able to capitalize here in the second. 3rd down and 11 for the Redskins with 2 minutes remaining in the half. Cousins on 3rd down, sacked for the 3rd time today.
Nice job by Shea McClellan in this play. He walks up into the front, and Kirk Cousins makes an adjustment at the line of scrimmage, and then he's going to peel out, and he's going to go man-to-man on Pierre Thomas, the running back. All the other routes vertical down the field. I think he wanted to get underneath and work that route. Good job by Shea McClellan on the sell of the blitz and then coverage.
Lamar Houston along with Willie Young and a D.C. native Eddie Goldman combined to bring down Cousins. This is Eddie Royal, fake the lateral to Mariani. Royal putting the Bears in excellent field position following a 64-yard punt, 15 on the return, following the sack of Kirk Cousins. John Fox, the Bears head coach. The sack of Cousins came with about 1:50 on the clock. He does not use a timeout. Redskins punt goes all the way down to 1:10, but the Bears have all 3 timeouts remaining.
John Fox is going to be very conservative at the ends of halves and the ends of games, allowing the opposition to get an extra possession. He lets that time run, has the confidence his offense can move down, put themselves in a position with points with 0 or little time left on that clock.
Ball start.
Maybe.
Ball start. Offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Right tackle Kyle Long, so this will move the Bears back 5 yards.
I'm always impressed by how much confidence there is with the quarterbacks throughout the NFL in these types of situations. We're always in the booth going, come on, hurry up, call a timeout, do this, do that. And they just have so much confidence and poise in these situations.
Cutler on first down. Langford stays on his feet. Down to the 44-yard line as we hit 1 minute remaining. Clock continues to run. Bears lining up. They have all 3 timeouts, down to 50 seconds. Second down and 8. Cutler fires downfield, too far for Jeffrey. No flags.
And we saw that a couple times last week against San Francisco, and we have it again here with Alshon Jeffrey beyond the defender, Brashad Breeland. Little stutter go back to the inside. He's on top right now. And there's contact. It kind of slows him down a tad.
He's pulled down after the ball was uncatchable.
But Jay Cutler has missed that a couple of times now the last 2 weeks.
Third down and 8, 40 seconds remaining. Bears must get to the Washington 48. Catch is made by Deontay Thompson. Cutler was pretty close to crossing that line of scrimmage.
I tell you what, great feel by Jay Cutler. He knew exactly where he was on the field. He's going to scramble out to the left. It's the 38-yard line. About the 38, or the 42, I'm sorry, the 42-yard line. Watch, he gets right to that spot, kind of hangs there. I tell you, my distance is off from where the drive started. He's right on it. He is right on that yard line. Watch the blue line.
Yep, as long as his foot, his entire body and the ball must be beyond that line for it to be flagged. And his foot was still behind the line. Now the Bears use their first timeout.
Unfortunately for the Bears offense, the best play that they've had here in the first down is the ad-lib play by Jay Cutler when everything breaks down and he gets out on the edge. Little scramble drill is the only offense Adam Gase has been able to generate here.
So 30 seconds remaining. Bears are in field goal range. They have 2 timeouts. First and 10 from the Washington 20 with an empty backfield. Cutler to the end zone for Langford. Incomplete. With Quentin Dunbar, the former wide receiver at the University of Florida, defending.
They have a lot of confidence in Jeremy Langford as a rookie at this position. Look at him split all the way out here on the outside, working one-on-one with a corner, with a nice move to the inside. Little slant and go.
Second and 10, 24 seconds on the clock. Empty backfield. Cutler on second down. Backpedaling. Now throws. End zone. Jeffrey. A flag and a touchdown. That touchdown was the initial signal. Now the officials will get together.
Yeah, they pointed at the Washington Redskins. Again, Jay Cutler kind of moving back, drifting.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Well, whether you want to argue the call or not, it's a touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey. Coming out of the slot right here. It's going to be kind of that back shoulder throw by Jay Cutler. He goes on the vertical route. He's on top, and it's thrown back behind by Jay Cutler.
Third touchdown reception of the season for Jeffrey, who's missed 5 games with various injuries. And now Robbie Gould, who missed a couple of field goal attempts last week, including a potential game winner from 36 yards out against San Francisco. The extra point is good. So the Bears cut the Redskins lead to 7. As we head to Los Angeles, check out what's coming up at halftime.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, do the Kansas City Chiefs get their 7th straight win? Will LaShawn McCoy be homecoming king in Philly? And can the Bengals take the throne as the kings of the North? Plenty of questions out there. We'll try and answer them for you coming up on the Visa halftime.
All right, thanks, Kurt. We look forward to it. So, talked about the clock management, and the Bears wind up getting into the end zone, and they leave only 18 seconds. And because Chicago deferred at the start of the game, they will get the ball first in the second half.
It is one of the things that we've seen used prevalently throughout the NFL this season is the deferring of that option, because if you can do exactly what the Bears have just done, score late in the first half, get the opening possession of the second half, odds are in your favor that you're going to be able to pull out a victory. And we talked about making plays at the top. The Chicago Bears did not make plays last week against the San Francisco 49ers and lost that game. In that drive right there, Jay Cutler, great presence on the field to make the big throw down the field. And again, it's been those scramble drill type situations that the Bears offense has done their best work in.
Rashawn Ross will take it out. Well, the Redskins with a 7-point lead, 13 seconds on the clock. Only one incompletion for Kirk Cousins. Ran for a touchdown.
But the Bears front is getting to him. They're getting to Kirk Cousins in the pocket. And we've even seen Trent Williams came into the game today with only a half a sack given up all season long. So credit this Bears front for hanging in there.
Cousins has been sacked 3 times. Redskins had only allowed 20 sacks all season. Coming into this one, Cousins takes a knee. So for the Redskins, looking for their first road win of the season. As Laura chats with Jay Gruden, Redskins with a 14-0 lead, and then the Bears with a late touchdown.
Yeah, it was all Washington at the start of the game, and they really dominated that first quarter. Alfred Morris, his first rushing touchdown of the season. Hard to believe that. And then Kirk Cousins on a great play fake on the zone read, untouched, into the end zone. That's 14-0, and the Redskins just dominating the game. And right before the half, Jay Cutler extends the play again, throws that little back shoulder type throw for the touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey.
So the Bears will receive the second half kickoff. They trail by 7 as we head to Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report. Excitement is brought to you by Nissan. Huge game for both teams here in Chicago. Alfred Morris with the game's first touchdown, then Kirk Cousins ran it in. Cousins sacked 3 times in the first half, and the Bears with a late touchdown. Jay Cutler to Alshon Jeffrey. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan, with the Redskins looking for their first road win. 7-point lead. They had a huge edge in numbers in the first quarter. Bears in the second quarter.
Well, a tremendous start by the Washington Redskins. A big question mark coming in. How would they open the game after that devastating loss to Dallas on Monday night? They started out great, but they sure didn't follow up very well in the second quarter.
Third time the Redskins have had the lead at halftime on the road this season. Lost to Atlanta and the Jets back-to-back weeks. Bears get the ball first and will start from the 20. So Chicago fell behind 14-0 following a tough loss last Sunday here to San Francisco, but a touchdown at the end of the half, and now they start with the football.
And it's one of those dynamics. We've had the Washington Redskins quite a bit this season. So one of the things that Jay Gruden talked to us about earlier in the year was losing the coin toss, having the team defer, getting the ball at the end of the half, coming out in that third quarter, getting another possession. That's exactly the position Chicago's in right now against Washington. We'll see if this plays out again. It's been one of those strange coincidences that have happened. So you mentioned the fact they have been leading 3 times on the road this year, haven't been able to finish it in the second half.
Jay Cutler playing with a heavy heart following the passing of his brother-in-law. Cutler and the Bears start from the 20. Rolling right on first down. Now intended for Forte, incomplete. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Yeah, hard play action there. Max protection, just really a 2-man route, and you drop Matt Forte out late. And it's important to stay ahead of the chains. You got an opportunity to make that catch, turn it upfield, put yourself in a 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, open that playbook up. Now you got 2nd and 10 because of the drop.
Back to your point, Redskins have only won the coin toss 4 times this season, lost it the other 9. On 2nd and 10, the short toss to Forte. And he will take it out to the 27-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 3 as we head down to the field and check in with Laura.
Hi, Kenny. Rain and wind starting to be felt down here on the field. I talked to Jay Gruden, who wanted to talk about that Jay Cutler scramble ending the half, that touchdown. He said that's what we need to stop. We need to make sure to keep them in the pocket, continue to rush them and stay in our lanes. Offensively, keep them off balance by not becoming one-dimensional.
All right, thanks, Laura. 3rd down and 3 for Cutler and the Bears. Opening drive, 2nd half. Cutler under pressure. Down he goes. Back at the 18-yard line, sacked by Ryan Kerrigan. It's the 3rd Redskins sack today.
It's been a year of learning the tackle position for Kyle Long. And last season inside at the guard spot. Now you're out on that island. It's completely different. You're matched up against a different type of guy, and that's Ryan Kerrigan. Speed, hands around the edge.
Kyle Long allowed sacks in each of the first 3 games after making the switch. John Fox told him, don't worry, you will be just fine. He's gone to the Pro Bowl his first 2 seasons from the right guard position, now at right tackle. Here's Crowder, and he gets tripped up. Good special teams tackle made by Sherrick McManus following the sack of Cutler by Ryan Kerrigan. Redskins by 7.
Is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide.
Raiders in the forecast. Laura talked about it. Here it is. Redskins start from their 38. Ty and Secchi in at right tackle for Morgan Moses. Off the play fake. Only the 2nd incompletion. Cousins looking for Morris. Willie Young with the pressure.
And there has definitely been an adjustment from those opening 2 drives by this Bears defense. You can see how effective Washington was moving the football. 2 drives after that, they've really struggled.
Hey, Liz 50, flag. Come on.
2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. Catch is made by Jordan Reed for a 1st down and more as Reed takes it all the way down to the Bears' 30, his 6th catch today, and he takes it for 32 yards.
You just can't let him have a clean release off the line of scrimmage, stacked on that right side to help it out a little bit. But boy, I'll tell you what, matching up a linebacker against Jordan Reed, and again, we talked about this in the first half. I've not seen Jordan Reed run after the catch like he has this afternoon. It's been very impressive.
Biggest play of the day for the Redskins on offense as Reed goes over 100 yards for the 3rd time in his career. From the Bears' 30. Cousins to the near side. It's Garcon. And Pierre Garçon gains 9 before he's tackled by Tracy Porter.
Now very, very soft coverage again in that situation. Pierre Garçon, a lot of room to work. Tracy Porter 10, 12 yards off at the start of that play. Seen Jordan Reed, Jamison Crowder, Pierre Garçon, and you let your guard down for a second, and Deshaun Jackson's going to run past you. So haven't targeted him a lot. Just can't fall asleep on that.
He does not have a catch today. This is Matt Jones, and it does not look like he will get there. Will Sutton makes the play for Chicago, so it will be 3rd down and short for the Redskins.
Well, they should have confidence. They ran the ball effectively in the first half. Now, with a lot on the line right here, in this opening possession of the second half, they bring Darrell Young in, bringing the fullback in, going traditional personnel grouping in a short yardage situation.
On 3rd down, it's Jones. We'll see where his second effort took him. Looked like Christian Jones initially wrapped him up, but then a big second effort by the rookie Matt Jones.
Christian Jones had the tackle, but allowed Matt Jones to spin out of it. Watch 59 come in, make the play right here, and Matt Jones wins the battle of leverage. Tough position for Christian Jones coming in, loses his balance.
Will Sutton is the injured Bear.
It was sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history.
Back in Chicago with the Redskins leading the Bears by 7. New set of downs for Washington. 1st and 10 from the Chicago 20. On 1st down, the handoff to Jones. Jones running hard. And he gains 8 down to the Chicago 12.
Yeah, that was the big body group right there. You've got your 3 tackles in. You brought Darrell Young, your fullback, in. You're just going to play a little smash mouth. Here's 2 tackles right here. Here's your 3rd. You got your fullback in, clearing the way out in the middle, and then good hard running by Matt Jones.
Mentioned Ty Nseki in at right tackle. Morgan Moses evaluated for a head injury back on the sidelines. Redskins lost tight end Derek Carrier earlier to a knee sprain. Tom Compton in as an extra blocker, number 68 on 2nd and 2. It's Jones, and he spins inside the 10 for another Redskins 1st down.
A little bit after the play there. Again, that was that same personnel group. You've got the big tackles in there. Tom Compton heading off the field on this one.
Redskins are 2 for 2 in the red zone today. Couple of first half touchdown runs. Alfred Morris and Kirk Cousins. Jones remains in the backfield on 1st and goal. Cousins checks it down to Jones. Jones to the Chicago 3. Lamar Houston the tackle.
Looked like Ty Nseki might have got out of there a little bit early. Watch your right tackle, 79.
The second time we've seen that on this drive. Jones, the workhorse on this Redskins drive, 2nd and goal. Cousins throws, and down at the 1 is the fullback, Darrell Young.
Yeah, he knows he's going back to his role as a blocker on the next play. So I had an opportunity to get in there. It's a nice effort by Darrell Young. Coming out of your fullback spot into the flat. And a little bit on that back shoulder. Watch right here. He spins out of it, lunges and reaches, and just a little bit short.
The Tracy Porter tackle. Will Sutton has returned for the Bears. Injured a couple of plays ago. 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. And now with the play clock winding down, a timeout will be taken by the Redskins.
First charge timeout, Washington.
Just over 8 minutes to go, 3rd quarter here in Chicago. Saturday, the UFC's 9 Days of Fury ends with a world lightweight title fight as Rafael dos Anjos takes on the cowboy Donald Cerrone, plus 2 heavyweight legends square off as Junior Dos Santos battles Alistair Overeem. UFC Fight Night is free, and it all begins Saturday, 8 Eastern, only on your local Fox affiliate.
Talked about the resiliency of the Redskins at the top and their ability to bounce back from bad games. The other thing is consistency, to kind of eliminate those opportunities where you have to bounce back. We've seen it in this game, the first 2 series, how efficient they were offensively. They have that lull, and here they go in the second half with a nice drive to start.
Boy, Redskins having trouble getting personnel on and off the field with the play clock winding down. They just used the timeout, and now
delay of game.
A delay of game penalty.
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
3rd down.
So this will force them back to the 6 on 3rd and goal. Coming out of a timeout, you take a delay of game after you can't get the right personnel into the huddle.
And I don't know why he's got to go all the way back to the sidelines to get the information from Sean McVay. You can see the confusion. That's just unacceptable in that situation when you had to take the timeout. And now you're pushed all the way back just outside the 5-yard line.
3 receivers to the left, including Reed. Garcon to the right. Third and goal from the 6. Cousins looking end zone. He throws. Touchdown, Jordan Reed.
Impressed with Kirk Cousins on this throw from the pocket, not panicking. Good coverage by the Bears in the secondary, and just watch his positioning in the pocket as he surveys the field, steps up, buys a little bit of time. He throws a heck of a pass right here because there's some good coverage coming all the way from the outside, running through all those defenders. That's a small window to fit that one in.
6 touchdowns the last 7 games for Reed. After that bad penalty, delay of game coming out of a timeout. Redskins still able to capitalize. Hopkins adds the extra point. So the Redskins again lead by 14.
Well, when you play against the Redskins, you have to worry about the speed of Deshaun Jackson and the matchup of Jordan Reed. And today, on top of that, his effort after the catch. Watch this one right here. Doesn't get the touchdown. He's ruled down just inside the 1-yard line. But this is what we have seen from Jordan Reed all afternoon today. Just the extra effort on all these catch and run. Watch this one here. He gets an extra 7 yards with 4 or 5 Bear defenders all around him.
Huge day for Reed. Now with a career high 65 receptions to lead the Redskins, his 3rd career 100-yard a game. And Kirk Cousins extends his streak. He has thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in each of the Redskins' 13 games this season.
Now, we talked about that dynamic in the 3rd quarter that Washington has faced several times throughout the season, with the opposition getting that score after deferring late in the first half and coming out controlling the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Got to give our hats off to the Washington defense. Came out, forced that 3 and out, got the ball right back to Kirk Cousins and his group, and they put together another nice, efficient drive down for a touchdown.
Thompson back deep for Chicago. That's the first 3rd quarter touchdown allowed by the Bears in the last 10 games. But the only problem is they have not scored a 3rd quarter touchdown themselves all season. Chicago will start from the 20-yard line as we head west Game break. Mike Hill. Mike.
If you recently picked up Doug Baldwin on your fantasy team, you're a happy person. 7 touchdowns in his last 3 games. This one from Russell Wilson, 22-yard catch. It's all Seattle, 21-6 over Baltimore. Seattle coming on strong, guys. Kenny, Darryl, back to you.
All right, Mike. Seahawks looking to win their 4th straight.
They always seem to peak at the right time. And you heard D'Angelo Hall talking about peaking at the right time, that this is the time right now. Seattle seems to do that every season. They struggle kind of early on. They get everything figured out, really hit their stride late in the year.
They're still got a wild card due to the success of the Arizona Cardinals this season. Langford gains a couple. So the Bears put together that nice drive at the end of the first half, got the ball first, went 3 and out, and then allowed the touchdown. Once again, they trail by 14.
Critical series right here. You don't want Washington to get that ball back quickly with the confidence that they've reestablished with that last drive.
2nd down and 8. Empty backfield. 3 receivers to the left. Cutler on 2nd down, throws, and wide open is Mariani. And he picks up a 1st down out to the 34-yard line.
See if they jump into a little bit of up-tempo here, too, trying to get some rhythm back into this offense.
Seven minutes to play, 3rd quarter, 1st and 10, 34-yard line. Big hole opens up for Jeremy Langford, and he gains 9.
D'Angelo Hall, you know, throughout his career, early on in his career, he's a cornerback, and you think about coverage. Watch 23 come in. I mean, he was doing it all night Monday against the Cowboys. He drops down from that safety spot and is very physical.
Here's Hall coming up again. The tackle,
a little bit late on that one.
And now a flag is thrown.
That was Deshaun Golson, very late. Watch Jeremy Langford. Watch how long he's down before number 38 comes in and hits him.
Oh, yeah.
I like the rookie popping up like that. He's going to be a good football player for the Chicago Bears moving forward. Adam Gase had lots of nice things to say about him last week, Jeremy Langford. Doesn't play like a rookie.
4th round pick out of Michigan State.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 38. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic, 1st down.
We welcome a new audience. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman from Soldier Field in Chicago. Washington Redskins control their destiny in the NFC East. Despite their 5-7 record, they lead the Chicago Bears 21-7. 6.5 to play, 3rd quarter. Redskins without a win on the road this year. Bears have won just 1 time here at home. As Cutler throws, and the catch is made by Alshon Jeffrey for a Chicago 1st down at the Washington 27.
I like this element to the play that actually both of these offenses have added. It's kind of a delayed route to that intermediate tier on the bootleg. Comes across a little bit later.
There is no foul for holding on the play. The result of the play is a complete pass. 1st down, Chicago.
We talk about the bootleg passes or your quarterback out on the perimeter. You're going to have a shallow route, an intermediate route, and a deep route. And they bring that intermediate route across the field a little bit later, and it falls into this little void as the defender's trying to look up. They'll recognize it and understand what's coming. So with that little delay, it kind of keeps that secondary receiver in that bubble area.
First and 10 from the Redskins 28. The toss to Jeremy Langford. And he runs into the arms of a rookie out of Mississippi State, Preston Smith.
Good play by Preston Smith. A lot of bodies out there that he had to work his way through. Jeremy Langford maybe needed to get up inside. There's Hronis Grasu, your center, is getting out there. If he could have gotten on his hip as opposed to pressing it further outside. Good play by Preston Smith.
Now 2nd and 10. Langford remains in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right. Cutler on second down, throws, it's Langford who makes the catch and takes it to the Washington 16, another Chicago Bears first down.
He's really developed a good football IQ early in his rookie season. And it's impressive to watch him. He knows protections. He can displace from the formation, which means take him out of the backfield, put him on the outside and run wide receiver routes.
Cutler perfect on this drive. New set of downs from the Redskins 17. Langford inside the 10 for a gain of 8.
And because of the commitment that Adam Gase has made to the running game, when you talk about running back by committee, this benefits Matt Forte too. I mean, last week against San Francisco, they had 42 carries. Man, that's a ton to ask from any running back in the league. So to be able to share them, and they're still getting 20-plus carries each.
Right, Forte told us it felt like the same as usual last week. Even though I split time, I still have 21 carries. It keeps me fresh for the fourth quarter. Second down and 2. Cutler throws, and that pass deflects away from Langford with Mason Foster defending.
Nice job by Mason Foster, trusting what you're seeing. You got your eyes on Jay Cutler. He's kind of staring Jeremy Langford down a little bit as he moves out to that left side. Trust it, make that jump on the ball.
Now Forte has replaced Langford on third down. 10th play of the drive for Chicago. Third down and 2. On the slant, and inside Miller for a Bears touchdown.
He's really been coming on the last couple of weeks. He and Jay Cutler developing a good rapport, working against D'Angelo Hall. That was easy, an easy release to the inside. Deshaun Golson a little bit late, getting over there to help out on that inside slant. And Deshaun Golson going off the field right now. That's a nice drive engineered by Jay Cutler. One of those critical series during the course of the game, and a good response by the Chicago Bears.
So Miller stepping up. Martellus Bennett placed on injured reserve earlier this week. Robbie Gould, the extra point. First third quarter touchdown of the season scored by the Bears as Cutler finds Miller. Chicago within 7.
Game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
Crowd has come alive here in Chicago as the Bears pull to within 7, late third quarter. Jack Miller with the touchdown reception. 10-play, 80-yard drive. Jay Cutler, 199th career touchdown pass. He ties Phil Simms for 39th on the all-time list. Taken out from 5 yards deep. And there is a flag. Rashad Ross could not get out to the 20.
During the return, holding, return team, number 36, half the distance from the end of the run. Washington's ball, first down, timeout.
Special teams penalty, Darrell Young, as Zach Miller celebrates following his touchdown. Redskins leading the Bears by 7 following the penalty on the return. Redskins pinned deep. They start from their own 9. The right tackle, Morgan Moses, has returned. Evaluated for a head injury coming out of halftime. As Cousins hands it off, it's Morris. On first down, he gains a couple out to the 11. Redskins have scored touchdowns on their opening drive in each half. First time they've done that in over 5 years.
Big problem has been following up that consistency. That's a huge lull in the second quarter they had in the first half. We'll see if they've got that issue fixed here as they start their extra possessions in the second half.
Second down and 8. Cousins on second down, picked off. Kyle Fuller.
Well, you heard Jimmy Johnson talk at halftime about Kirk Cousins was taking some sacks, but he wasn't making the critical mistake with the interception, which was a big part of his earlier career. No need to make this throw. Watch 23. Going to play it out here, going to drift right underneath. Don't know what Kirk Cousins saw as that play progressed. That's a tough throw to be able to sink over the top of Kyle Fuller and get it to Pierre Garçon.
The second-year corner out of Virginia Tech. He becomes the first Bear with more than one interception this season, 6th of his career. And Cousins had thrown only one pick the last 4 games. So the Bears start from the Washington 21. This is Forte with Cutler getting out in front. And Quentin Dunbar makes the tackle after a gain of 3.
Yeah, you don't want to have a play design where you've got Forte with Cutler out in front blocking. That's the competitive nature of him at the quarterback spot. It's his own read, so he's out that way. And I can help you out a little bit, Matt, but I'm not going to get hurt.
Able to stay away from Quentin Dunbar. On 2nd and 6, it's Forte. Does not need any help from Cutler this time, as Forte picks up a first down.
No support coming in from the defensive left side. He's going to come in here and wiggle right outside. There's nobody there. You had your outside linebacker and support moving all the way outside.
First and goal, Chicago, from the Washington 7. 3 receivers to the left. Here comes Forte shifting into the backfield. Forte. Into the end zone for a Bears touchdown.
Started off with a trips to the left side, then you brought Matt Forte back into the backfield and just run it to the right side. So they attacked the right side on the last 2 plays. Squeezed everything down. D'Angelo Hall a little bit slow squeezing that. Again, remember we talked, he's only been playing safety for a month now. Moving from the cornerback spot as the safety there on contain, you've really got to squeeze that down in real tight.
So 3 days after his 30th birthday, Matt Forte with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, goal the extra point. We are tied at 21 thanks to the interception by Kyle Fuller of Kirk Cousins, leading to the game-tying score by Matt Forte.
This game is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, the Merrier Carrier.
Bears have tied the game. Kyle Long and his teammates fired up.
I tell you, one of the things that he has really enjoyed about the culture that John Fox is establishing in that locker room is the accountability. He loves playing with these guys, loves playing for John Fox.
And for more on John Fox and the Bears, downstairs to Laura.
And speaking of that culture Daryl was talking about, I asked Fox at halftime, what'd you say to the team about that slow, sluggish start? He said, I didn't say anything at halftime. I didn't have to. I let them know how I felt before we left the field. He marched up and down and let the offense and defense have it. they have responded since. They've rolled. He said, I wanted to get them rolling. They've rolled into the end zone 3 times since, and that huge pick, and they've gotten the crowd so into it. This place has finally erupted.
Sure has, Laura, after they fell behind 21-7 midway through this quarter. 2 quick touchdowns, and they forced a turnover as Cousins connects, taken out to the 25-yard line by Pierre Garçon. Over the course of this season, coming into this game, Cousins 10 touchdowns, no interceptions in the 5 Washington wins.
It just further emphasizes the point that everybody knows that turnovers are the most important factor in determining who's going to win every Sunday.
Here's Jones, and he picks up a first down. And you mentioned earlier, Redskins this season have not done a good job of scoring after takeaways by their defense, and they've also allowed now a league-high 106 points following Washington turnovers.
It's completely out of whack. It was a big topic of conversation in Washington this week. They're completely even for the season. You know, giveaway, takeaway, they're minus 80 now in points scored off those turnovers.
But Sean Jackson, who had not caught a pass today, prior to that play, it is ruled a catch after Chicago 35, a 29-yard reception.
Coming from the bottom here, he's going to cross the entire field, gets into a nice soft spot. This is a nice throw by Kirk Cousins. Does he have possession, gets to 2 feet down, goes to the ground, maintains possession through the process.
Don Fox was looking up at the replay on the scoreboard. And he just gave the thumbs up to somebody on the sidelines. I guess he's received word that it looked like a good catch. And now the play clock winding down as Cousins comes running in. They've already been called for delay of game, and now we'll use a second timeout.
But Deshaun Jackson is not ready to go
Second
anyways.
timeout, Washington. This is a 30-second timeout.
Shaken up at the end of that play, his first catch today.
And I don't know if this is from the contact as he goes to the ground. Remember, he struggled with a hamstring in the beginning of the season.
Right, he missed 6 games due to that injury.
Gets the collision from Kyle Fuller as they go to the ground. He rolls across the back of the legs. I mean, the way that he left the huddle after they broke last time, he's still in there. I don't know if he's healthy enough to go on this snap. I mean, you don't, unless he's completely full and you barely need to cover him on a pass play.
This will be the final play of the quarter after the Redskins are forced to use their second timeout. On the handoff, it's Jones, and he gets tripped up in the backfield, and there is a flag. Willie Young makes the tackle, and it's against the Redskins.
Heck of a job by Willie Young. Engages Trent Williams, then fights, drops below, able to penetrate in the backfield.
There is no foul in the play for holding. Result of the play is second down. This is the end of the third quarter.
So the flag was picked up. The Chicago Bears, who did not have a third quarter touchdown all season, scored 2 in 2 minutes, 18 seconds to tie the game at 21. 15 points twice. We start the fourth quarter, tie game. Second down and 14 for Washington from the Chicago 39. Cousins' pass was deflected up the line. Will Sutton getting a piece of it.
And they did get Deshaun Jackson off to the sideline prior to this snap. The Bears getting 4, pressure with 4. Get your hands up, push that pocket, get those hands up if you can't get home. But I know the competitor that Deshaun Jackson is, but it was 10 versus 11 there for a couple of snaps. He's back in the lineup now. We'll keep our eye on him.
Slot to the right, third down at 14. On the slant. Not enough for Rashad Ross, but it does get the Redskins into field goal range, so a big play as Cousins hits Ross.
Coming from the outside, push the vertical routes, create that little window. Stumbling coming off the break and catch. Might have had an opportunity to run after that catch for the first down if he maintained his balance.
Well, here is Dustin Hopkins out to attempt a 47-yard field goal from the right hash. Pressway will place it down. Hopkins from 47 for the lead. His kick is good. So a big third down pass play from Cousins to Ross, putting Washington into field goal range, and the Redskins lead by 3.
Sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
Big sports week in Chicago. Some huge free agent signings by the Cubs. Patrick Kane, a 25-game point streak for the Blackhawks, and a good one here at Soldier Field. Redskins back on top. Sean Jackson, that 29-yard reception made on the field, not 100%. Hopkins 47-yard field goal. Thompson takes a knee. Bears will start from their 20-yard line, trailing by 3.
Jay Cutler with a nice afternoon. Had the fumble on the sack with no interceptions there. Matt Forte, the leading rusher, sharing that time again with Jeremy Langford. Early to start this half, Jeremy was getting most of the carries. Need to find a way to get Alshon Jeffrey involved in this game deep down the field. And we haven't heard a lot about Eddie Royal yet.
No. Just one reception for
He's
Royal.
our guy to watch today, right?
He was. Royal goes in motion, making his return after missing the last 5 games. A handoff to Forte. Not much. Forte talked about how the addition of Langford has kept him fresh for the 4th quarter of games.
He looked good on that last series. He really did. I think it's going to benefit him, you know, this last month of the season, being able to share some snaps.
Philadelphia and Buffalo now tied at 20. Redskins keeping a close eye on that one. Cutler on 2nd and 10. Jeffrey made an adjustment, but unable to make the catch with Breland defending.
Again, in that situation, you're stride for stride. It always used to be once you get even, you're leaving. Now it's kind of that back shoulder. Once you get even, I'm going to throw it behind you. And just a little bit out of sync right there to make the completion. A little underthrown.
3rd down and 10 for Chicago. Trailing by 3. Early 4th quarter. Cutler's pass caught by Forte, but he is tackled 2 yards shy of the marker, and Sean Breland shaken up on the play.
Matt Forte at the end of the run. Looks like it's actually his own teammate, Tyshawn Jarrett, as he comes across, gets a helmet on the knee. Matt Forte tries to split the 2 defenders. Watch number 30, Tyshawn Jarrett, as he comes across. Gets that right on the knee of Bashaud Breeland.
By 3, there's Bashaud Breeland, injured on the last play, but he did help make the tackle, stopping Forte from picking up the first down. So O'Donnell will punt it away with Crowder back deep for Washington. Their catch called for by Crowder at the 18-yard line. Well, you look around the NFL, and who's that guy? Number 48 for the Cowboys, free agency in '93, and parity has become a key word when you talk about the National Football League. Seahawks go 7-9, make the playoffs in 2010. Panthers win their division at 7-8-1 last year. Currently 16 teams below the 500 mark.
Yeah, and this is going to be a discussion when you talk about the NFC East, the AFC South. And remember that both of those teams that were sub 500 that went to the playoffs as division champions won that first playoff game. So
Cousins moving to his left, faced by Willie Young. And he throws. Garcon makes the catch. It is ruled a catch for a Redskins first down.
This is just good execution by the Redskins offense, because the Bears cover it perfect the entire time. Kirk Cousins hangs in there, finally finds Pierre Garcon, and he does a great job working the sidelines to keep his feet in.
From the 37 on first down, it's Jones. And you're right, Darryl, there's always so much talk whenever a sub-500 team makes the playoffs, but in those last two instances, both the Seahawks in 2010 and the Panthers last year won their first playoff game. So Carolina back-to-back division championships, 7-8-1 last year, and they are leading Atlanta today 38-0 as the Panthers look to go to 13-0 on the season.
Impressive the way they've turned that around from last season. 12-4, 7-8-1 now to an undefeated team, the last undefeated team in the NFL.
Second down and 7. Cousins with time, throws, and it's Deshaun Jackson who makes a sliding catch. So Jackson back in the game, his second reception today for a Redskins first down.
I'm amazed that he's back in the game. You saw him come out of the huddle right after he had that injury, and he could barely get into a running stride.
And again, Jackson has limped off to the sidelines, Laura.
Well, the whole time Deshaun has been out, they've been working on his left knee. So he is able to go. You see him in there, but they've been stretching him and just kind of squatting, trying to get that knee going.
All right, thanks, Laura. First and 10 for the Chicago 46. Here is Jones. And, of course, Monday night, Jackson, a huge story during the last 2 minutes of the game against the Cowboys. First, he tries to reverse field on the return, winds up coughing up the football, then catches the touchdown pass, which would tie the game.
Yeah, it made amends for it, had the opportunity to correct the earlier mistake, but sometimes as a competitor, you need your coaches, you need your teammates to make sure you're making the right decision based on your health and what you can do to help the team.
Second down and 4. Running to the outside is Morris. There is a flag. Morris to the 37.
Just the frustration from Alfred Morris, and that was a nice effort.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
That's Trent Williams as we head to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, Carolina lost Jonathan Stewart to a sprained foot. So Fozzie Whitaker comes in and just does what Stewart does. Runs it in for a 16-yard score. They're up 38-0 in the fourth quarter. Cam Newton threw 3 touchdown passes, so they're giving him the rest of the day off. Kenny.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Panthers clinch a first-round bye with a win or a Packers loss or tie. Green Bay hosting Dallas on America's Game of the Week. Deshaun Jackson back in, top of your screen. Split out to the right. Second and 15 following the penalty. And the catch is made by Garcon at the Bears 40. He gains 11.
Well, Jay Gruden talked about the resiliency of this team bouncing back from bad games. I've seen it here through the course of the game, bouncing back from bad plays, bouncing back from negative situations. When they've had the penalties and they've fallen behind the down and distance marker, they've made that up with a play. It's something that you haven't seen on a consistent basis through the year. Done a nice job this afternoon.
Now facing a third down and 4 from the Bears 40. Here comes the pressure on Cousins. Throws to the outside and could not connect with Jackson.
Yeah, he's just not going to have that burst to be able to go get that pass. Out of the shotgun, Kirk Cousins stands in the pocket, trying to get that corner route, working from the second man in, and you can see coming in and out of his break, he doesn't have the confidence yet to really turn that thing loose.
Press way out to punt. Mariani back deep. punting for only the third time today. Their catch signal back at the 7-yard line. So the Bears 15, but they will get another opportunity. Kyle Long and the Chicago offense trailing by 3.
Game is sponsored by Target. Expect more, pay less.
Record-setting day in Chicago, temperature-wise, 62 degrees at game time. Redskins lead the Bears by 3. It's the worst starting field position of the day. And Ryan Kerrigan wraps up Jeremy Langford on the first down carry.
This is a good design because watch Ryan Kerrigan. He's going to fly down. Linebacker's going to replace, so on the zone read, if quarterback does come out, you've got that covered as well. That allows Ryan Kerrigan to just crash down the line of scrimmage.
Kerrigan with a sack earlier today. Loss of a yard. Second down and 11. And the Bears keep it on the ground. And again, Kerrigan in on the tackle. Langford takes it up to the 9. So the Bears facing third down and 7.
One of the critical snaps we talk about during the course of a game. Here you go. Backed up, 8:20 left here in the game. 3rd and 7 for the Bears offense. Who's going to make the play on this one?
Sean Breland back on the field for the Redskins this drive. Taken up earlier. Bears must get to the 16 for a first down. Cutler steps up and throws to the outside, and he finds his man, and then spinning free is Miller. It's a first down and more, finally tackled by D'Angelo Hall after a gain of 26 on 3rd and 7.
Great understanding of where the routes are going to be. Your eyes are wide open. Zach Miller, top of the screen. Watch. Jay Cutler goes up, but he knows where 86 is. He knows his safety valve is to the outside.
Off the play fake to Langford. Cutler throws. It's Mariani into Redskins territory. Another first down for Chicago as Mariani gains 25.
Nice help by Eddie Royal on the outside, getting the block, getting a couple more yards after the catch.
So back-to-back pickups of 26 and 25 yards for the Bears, and this pass is short, intended for Mariani. 2nd and 10 with 7:15 remaining.
And you can see Jay Cutler trying to get everybody back to the line of scrimmage. He wants to get into this up-tempo style at the line of scrimmage. Adam Gase has created a system similar to what you see that he did with in Denver. He's given control at the line of scrimmage to Jay Cutler. They seem to have gotten into their best rhythm during the course of the game in this situation.
2nd and 10 from the Redskins, 41. Cutler steps up and throws too far for Langford.
You just got to give him a little bit better angle to throw that in. When you get beyond your defender, you got to bend it back to the middle of the field. Middle of the field is wide open, so watch 33 come out of the backfield. Now get over the top, bend it in. Bend it in a little bit more. You can see your Deshaun Golson's actually coming to help on the outside. Jay Cutler wants a flag thrown for contact.
3rd down and 10. Bears must get to the 31 for a first down. Play clock at 5. Quick release on 3rd down. It's Jeffrey, but not nearly enough.
You got to be careful right now because they're on to that call right there at the line of scrimmage. We saw a pick 6 last week against San Francisco on the quick screen. Washington knew the screen was up here. Look at all the players. Look at how they played it. And they did this on both sides of the field, both sides of the formation. Washington broke to cover the screen.
This would be a 57-yard field goal attempt, so the Bears will punt it away with Crowder back deep. McDonald punting from midfield. This one will stay out of the end zone, and Bellamy will pounce on it. But a good stand by the Redskins defense after two big plays. Washington by 3.
Tilt your head to the left. Ready? Okay, now read with me. We're going to find the Bears down here. Now, they're not mathematically eliminated. Now, what they have done is they have given up control of their destiny with Minnesota and Green Bay ahead of them. All they can do is win out and give themselves the best chance to see what happens at the end of the season.
Their defense on the field here as Jones is tackled by Goldman. Now, you look at the other teams on that list in the HUD. Tampa Bay down by 7. Atlanta down by 38. Philadelphia tied. Giants play tomorrow.
Things are happening that need to happen. Once you give up control of your destiny, you got to rely on help from other people. And all Chicago can do now is week to week, win every game, get to 9-7. Let's see what happens.
It's okay to tilt your head back now to the right, by the way.
Oh, that's right. It's off. Thank you. Thank you.
2nd and 10. Cousins complete. Jordan Reed. Reed is out to the 19-yard line for a Washington first down.
Yeah, he's just been unstoppable today. Every matchup that Chicago has tried against Jordan Reed has not worked out. 8 for 8. There's not an incompletion thrown his direction.
Only 5 incompletions for Cousins all day, including the interception. Tom Compton, 68, has reported as an eligible receiver for the Redskins. Ryan Grant in motion. This is Matt Jones. Jones out to the 24.
A lot of confidence in the Redskins with Matt Jones. Had some fumbling issues earlier in the season. Tom Compton out here. There's Jordan Reed inside him. Critical part of the game. You're trusting your running back that he has corrected that issue that had him put the ball down on the ground 4 times this year.
Rain continues to fall in Chicago. Deshaun Jackson on the sidelines. 4.5 remaining. Redskins lead by 3. 2nd down and 5. The handoff to Jones. Tries to turn the corner. Off the sidelines. And Matt Jones has another Washington first down out to the 33.
They have been very, very productive running the football today against the Bears. There's the big correction. You see it's high and tight. When Matt Jones was having a problem, it was when he would get out into space and that ball would drop. It would drop low down near his hip, and it was getting punched out. And you can see how high he's keeping it now. When he gets into the open field, he's got it up high.
Big set of downs for the Redskins. Grant comes in motion. Number 33, it's Jones. Redskins, as we've mentioned all day long, without a road win. In fact, Kirk Cousins has not won a road start since 2012 in Cleveland. And the Bears, after losing last week here at home to San Francisco, only one team in the history of the NFL, the 96 Saints, lost back-to-back home games to teams with records of 0-5 or worse on the road.
Well, we came into the game talking about the margin for error for the Bears, and in John Fox's first year, it's going to be very small. They can't have the plays like they had last week. The pick 6, they missed 2 field goals, one that would have ended the game in regulation. They've done a better job today. That's why they find themselves in this tight game right here against the Washington Redskins, who are trying to seize control of the NFC East. Can they continue to make those plays down the stretch here to give them a chance to either tie this game or win?
Redskins control their destiny. Off the fake toss. Cousins' pass was behind Jones. Some confusion on the part of the Redskins offense, and it's now a 3rd down and 6. Clock stops with 4:09 remaining.
Yeah, you can see, watch Matt Jones, number 31. He's going to come out, thinks it's the swing pass, then he goes back inside, and it clicks right now. Oh, that's right. That was the screen guy.
Third down and 6.
Bears very late breaking that huddle and getting lined up.
Redskins must get to the 43. Cousins looking, can't find anyone. He spins away from Eddie Goldman. And now will fire downfield, and Reed able to deflect it back, and Jones makes the catch. Then the ball comes loose at the end of the play, and it's Redskins football.
Oh, Matt Jones got very lucky. I don't think he was down. He was not touched down, and he left the ball out. Chicago had a great opportunity to come in and take possession back. Not a great decision by Kirk Cousins right here, throwing it back into the middle of the field. The ball's tipped and bounced. Look, he catches it. He's not touched down. Somebody comes in. Now it's a free ball. That was a live ball. And Matt Jones, very lucky, it came back to him.
Wow. Deflected by Reed to Jones, and as you said, not touched. He spins the ball away. Redskins very lucky. There's Morris.
Bears fans here up in arms the fact that they recognize it was a fumble, but they haven't pieced it together yet to realize that Matt Jones retained possession.
Timeout taken by the Bears with just over 3 minutes remaining.
Wow, I think very, very lucky for the Redskins there. Just number one, the decision by Kirk Cousins throwing it back across the field, kind of a jump ball situation. Jordan Reed starts out on this side. That's who he's trying to get it to. Very fortunate. This is one of those cardinal rules as a quarterback you don't want to do. And then you make the catch, and you almost give it right back to Chicago.
Crazy.
Making plays, all right? That's a great job by Jordan Reed, Matt Jones teaming up to make the play. Now there's an opportunity for Chicago to get it back right there. Looked like Adrian Amos missed the opportunities. He kind of snuck through there to try and grab that ball.
Now Jones back in. Redskins took him out following that inadvertent fumble. Now Jones back in for Morris, 2nd and 9. Off the fake to Jones. Cousins passes high, and then Jackson took a hard hit from Porter at the end of the play.
There's number 11, the bottom of your screen on the outside. He's going to be that late cross we talk about in that situation. You've got that bootleg out to the right side. Usually everybody's out towards the sideline. Both of these teams having that fourth element coming across in the intermediate area late.
Tenth play of the drive coming up for Washington. 3rd down and 9. Play clock winding down. Redskins get the snap away. Cousins to the outside. Catch is made by Reed, but a nice tackle made by Allen Ball. Redskins not in field goal range, so they will punt it back to the Bears.
Interesting. Watch Jordan Reed. He's not primary here. He actually stays in, checks protection, and then he's a late check down. That's easy for Allen Ball playing inside out on just a flat route. Let's see how the punt team does here. Can they pin Chicago back inside their 5-yard line?
Mariani back deep. Redskins will let the clock run down. There are 8 seconds on the play clock. Now Wade punting from his own 48. Mariani lets it go, bounces into the end zone with 2:11 remaining. Bears have 1 timeout and a 2-minute warning as we check in with Mike Hill in Los Angeles. Mike.
Yeah, we got America's Game of the Week next. Des Bryant, the Cowboys, still in the mix in that crazy NFC East, taking on Aaron Rodgers and the NFC North leading Packers. Everyone remembers that controversial finish between these two in the playoffs last year. You get the rematch coming up next right here on Fox.
All right, Mike, we look forward to it. Packers and Cowboys. Dallas coming off the win over the Redskins, who lead this game by 3. Philadelphia back out on top in their game against Buffalo. And this play is blown dead. False start, Chicago.
False start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the center. Grossu, first Bears penalty here in the second half after they were plagued by penalties, 6 in the first half today.
Watch Horonas. Grossu just rocks back, a little flinch right there. Good eyes by the officials.
First and 15 following the penalty. Butler with time. Now he fires downfield to a wide open Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey to the Washington 34-yard line, a 51-yard completion.
Well, the best play in the Bears offense all afternoon has been sandlot football. And we're drawing it up. You've got Jay Cutler kind of scrambling, extending plays, finding guys open down the field.
Biggest play of the day on either side, 51 yards. Final play prior to the 2-minute warning. Forte. So the Bears trail by 3. They are in field goal range thanks to the 51-yard completion from Jay Cutler to Alshon Jeffrey. 2 minutes remaining. Something's got to give. Redskins have lost their last 9 on the road. Bears just 1-8 in their last 9 here at Soldier Field. Second down and 7. From the Washington 32. Cutler looking for Jeffrey, and the ball drops free. Breland defending.
Just floated a little bit too much on Jay Cutler. Alshon Jeffrey's going to get on top. Remember, Bashaud Breeland, little nicked up at this stage of the game. It's underthrown, allows him to come back and make a play on it. Now they're wrestling for it, and it pops out when they hit the ground. Bashaud Breeland had the best chance at that ball.
Third down and 7. Clock at 2. Cutler under pressure, and that pass is short, intended for Eddie Royal, so the Bears will send out the field goal unit.
And how excited is Robbie Gould to walk out on the field right now for this opportunity. Eddie Royal coming out of your slot right there. Again, they're kind of laying it down short, trying to hit that back shoulder throw.
We welcome a new audience. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman in Chicago. Redskins with a 3-point lead. Here is Robbie Gould, who missed a potential game winner from 36 yards out here at home last Sunday against San Francisco. He missed his last 2 attempts in that game. This will be from 50 yards out. Patrick O'Donnell will place it down. And Gould's kick from 50 is no good. Wide to the right.
Wow, he has missed 5 kicks this season. All 5 of them have been to the left. He has pulled them all to the left. Robbie Gould.
Those of you who have just joined us, Darryl, as we take a look at the missed field goal attempt a moment ago, which would have tied the game.
Yeah, he's had 4 go wide left. He's had 1 hit the left upright. That one, you overcompensate and you push it to the right. Had an opportunity to speak with Robbie Gould before the game. He was so excited for the opportunity to be put in that situation again. He has to be devastated right now.
His 6th miss of the season. So the Redskins get the ball back with 1:40 remaining. Chicago with 1 timeout. Washington will be able to take the clock down to about 5 seconds remaining. Here's Jones, stays in bounds.
Smart play, smart play. We saw that with Darren McFadden on Monday night going out of bounds.
So Jones very alert there after a couple of minutes ago. He got rid of the football, although he was not touched. So some redemption for Matt Jones.
It's just been a great game to watch today. Washington dominated in the opening of this game. 14 straight points. The Bears come back. They start chipping away at the lead, 14-7 at half, and then they have the big third quarter. The Bears kind of dominate play in the third quarter, get it to 21-21 with a touchdown after the interception by Kyle Fuller. The Redskins able to tack on a field goal to get it to 24-21. And just a few seconds ago, Robbie Gould misses for the second week in a row, an opportunity to win last week, an opportunity to tie this week and send it to overtime.
The most accurate field goal kicker in Bears franchise history. Here's Jones. So Chicago out of timeouts. So as we said, the Redskins will be able to take it all the way down to about 5 seconds remaining. That's how much time would be left if the Redskins punted away if they do not pick up a first down.
I feel so bad for Robbie Gould right now. He owned it last week. He let his teammates down. And we talked to him today. He goes, you know what? When I make the kick and we win and everybody wants to be, you know, around you to talk about all the positive things, you got to own when it goes the other way. He's got to own it possibly now 2 weeks in a row. Tough spot for Robbie Gould to be in.
Redskins take the play clock all the way down. This is Jones, and he will fight his way across midfield for a Redskins first down, which will put an exclamation point on today's victory for the Washington Redskins.
Well, you know that the Chicago Bears understand that Matt Jones has put the ball on the ground, and they're coming in to try and rip it out. And look at the ball security. Pad level is down. Ball pulled tight to the chest. Good job by Matt Jones overcoming an issue that was costing them games earlier in the season.
So the Redskins become the last NFL team to win on the road this season. They will host Buffalo next week. Bears will travel to Minnesota. So Robbie Gould with an opportunity to tie the game in the final minutes. Wide right from 50 yards out. Redskins maintain control of the NFC East.
Unbelievable. Haven't won on the road, and under tough conditions come in and find a way to get it done.
So the Redskins win it by 3 as we send you to Los Angeles.